Kayte Christensen. Good morning, Katie.
Oh, good morning, guys.
Literally hung the phone.
Is that right?
I called her.
Not sweet Katie. I can't imagine that.
I call her to
Oh,
say.
so Jason, you know that sweet Katie would never hang up on him unless it were prompted, right?
That's true.
Oh, sorry that I called you to say, hey, good morning.
No.
Time to wake
I'm
up.
sure there's more to it.
We have a game.
Dave, there's a little bit more to what you said that prompted the hang up, but.
No.
But anyway, let's talk Kings clinching. Give me the mask, Dave.
Hey, well, here's the question, Katie. The Kings need to beat Portland tonight to as one of the scenarios. Will they hang up on the questions as to whether or not they can clinch tonight? They got to win, right?
Yeah, I mean, one would think, right? If you the next 3 games, you look at the 2-game series here in Portland, and then we come home, and then the Kings play against the Spurs. That's the easiest part of the remaining schedule, if you will, because after that you go on the road, New Orleans, at Dallas, back to back, come home, play Golden State, and then leave and go on the road and finish up with Denver. So, yeah, I mean, it should happen tonight. Obviously Portland has gone in a totally different direction. And I think quite a bit of that actually started with the loss to the Kings coming directly out of the All-Star break. So it is no advantage to them to win games, and it certainly is an advantage for us.
You know, Kate, if we go back to the other night when the Kings had their own individual chance to do it, and that was the moment everybody was hoping for at home. Why did Minnesota have so much success? Obviously, this was a team that what they did in that game and what everybody said afterwards was run them off the three-point line, so they didn't take as many, certainly didn't make them. But they also still did a pretty good job of protecting around the rim. All that being said, the Kings had their chances to win. What was Minnesota's secret to their success the other night?
Well, the reality of the matter is the Kings have struggled against Minnesota all year. Every single game this season, all 4 of them were very close. I think they've all been 7 or less points that it was decided by. And I went back and looked during the game because I have weird game boards that tracks all kinds of weird stuff. So I can pull stuff randomly really quickly, and I might use it once in 82 games. So that was the 11th game this season where the Kings finished in double digits in 3-point field goals made. 3 times against the Timberwolves. So both times up in Minnesota. They had a great shooting night at Golden One the first time they matched up against them. But that is a very good team in terms of they're very good at taking away threes and running people off the line. But the Kings have really struggled with Minnesota's length. Really, really struggled with the length across the board on their roster. And there are just some teams that, you know, from a personnel standpoint, you just struggle with a little bit more. But it's interesting because we've talked on the broadcast, you guys, about Graham Becker, who is the you know, kind of the psychologist for the team. He started traveling with the team. Really, really nice, calm, you know, long bearded, bald guy that's like, you know, he is like the basketball whisperer to all of these guys. And I was talking to him last night. There was like a staff and a family dinner on the road, and he was sitting at our table, and, you know, he said, the hardest part of my job right now is bringing these guys down. It's not getting them up. He said, they're so high. They so understand the moment and so badly want the clinch to happen that his big challenge right now is to get them to play at a normal level of like calmness, right? And I think that kind of goes back to what happened in that game against Minnesota. It's just you can want it so bad that it just slightly takes you out of your game and your rhythm. And I think that has a little bit to do with it.
And as Kayte Christensen joins us, is that something to keep in mind come playoff time? We talked about that, Jason and I did yesterday, that if there's a bright side, maybe they wilted. I don't know if that's the right word, wilted a little bit under the lights and the pressure. Better to do it then on Monday than to do it in game 1. But is that something that ultimately they're going to need to fix or be on top of when they get under the bright lights of the playoffs?
I hate to say it because I know how much you celebrate it, but that's a really good question. There's a train of thought, right, that you would think that maybe this would be, you know, getting it out of the way and clinching, and that would alleviate it. But I don't necessarily think that will. I think that there is, no matter how you look at it, there is a ton of external pressure on everyone on that roster, on that coaching staff. And it's for a good reason, but it's because of how much the city and fan base deserves this. And they're very cognizant of that. So I think that puts a little bit different pressure on, teams that, we haven't been to the playoffs for a couple of years, but we're back now. Like it's a different type of expectation and pressure that is put on you. But I will say this, it's a good thing that playoff, series are 7 games. You get 2 at home, 2 on the road, 1-1-1, right? That is a really, really good thing. And the Kings have played incredibly well on the road this season. So I might expect, like in the first round, it is a possibility, a very strong possibility that they could, struggle that first game just because of, let's say, being under the bright lights, right? But also they've got guys like Harrison Barnes, Delly that have kind of been there. And then I really think that De'Aaron and Domas have been really incredible leaders. So I'm hoping that this was a good little test and now it's maybe a little bit out of their system.
Katie, you think tonight's the night for Keegan? I mean, I know the team didn't take that many threes. He didn't take that many, had some good looks to break that record the other night. He's really close now and maybe is a little bit more free playing on the road against this Portland team. You think that record goes down tonight for rookie threes?
I sure hope so, because I got all kinds of fun stats that I've had in my bag. Here's the thing about Keegan's shooting. It is like absurd, right? I looked it up and, the numbers compared to Donovan Mitchell are really like, it just kind of illuminates how special what he's doing is. And yes, the record is going to fall. It'll fall before the end of the season. And, I don't know how long it'll be before someone has the ability to come in and break it. And certainly not at the level that Keegan is shooting in terms of accuracy, right? Donovan Mitchell shot 34% from beyond the arc his first season. So he took way more than Keegan just by the numbers. And Keegan is a very high volume shooter. So it puts it in perspective, and Keegan is definitely shooting, over 40%. So this just doesn't happen what he's doing. So I'm excited for him to break it, because I would like that to get kind of off of his mind as well.
What is Portland going to do with Dame Lillard in the offseason? And I know that's an impossible question for you to answer, but as a basketball fan as well as an analyst, do you look at a guy like Dame who's been there his whole career, and do you wish he went somewhere else to maybe win a title? Do you think he's fine there for his whole career? How do you look at that situation?
It's tough because not a lot of guys stay with the same organization through and through. And usually the ones that do are the ones that have had a lot of success there. And if you look at it, I mean, they have had a lot of success here. They just haven't had the success that you would wish for a player of Damian Lillard's, kind of status, if you will. And I do really appreciate his loyalty. I think that's something that he is just through and through, a very loyal guy. And he wanted to be here. He wanted to bring it to Portland, the team, the city that believed in him from the beginning. And if you go from a psychological standpoint with Dame Lillard, going back to when he was drafted, that was a really important thing for him. And I think he's paid it off exponentially, in terms of his desire to stay here. But I think that, might be a point for him where he's like, okay, I don't have very much time left. I want to try somewhere else. Do I hope as a basketball fan? I don't think it matters to me. To me, it's like, I don't need a player to win a title to know that they're one of the best.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like Charles Barkley, it's a big joke. He never won a title. He was one of the best, right? And he's always going to be. Dame Lillard is special in a way, not a lot of players will ever be like him and reach the level of success that he's had as a shooter, as a pure shooter. Whether he wins a title or not, it doesn't matter. I think the important thing is I really am sick and tired of people, the talking heads, getting up there on TV and saying he needs to leave. He should have left a long time ago. Like, Portland doesn't deserve him. Like, this is his life. It's his choice. Let him make it and keep your opinions out of it.
That's Kayte Christensen, never short on opinions. You can see her tonight in Portland, where we will be.
Yeah.
As the Sacramento Kings take on the Blazers. We will rely on Katie tomorrow to show us around the city and come up with cool places to eat and fun things to do. And thank you in advance, Katie. We look forward to spending 3 full days with you starting this afternoon.
Dave, I need you to bring an extra suitcase. I went shopping yesterday.
Dude, really? Because I really truly believe that.
I do, actually. I do.
Just
I'm
one
glad
extra
we did
suitcase.
this on air. Yeah. All right.
I'll bring the big one.
I can't wait to see you guys.
All right. Take care.
See you,
Bye-bye. Kayte Christensen, the big suitcase.
Yeah. She went shopping.
I guess I am checking a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll take a break.
That's what happens when you go to Oregon. No sales tax, man.
It's actually, seriously, and Katie is Frugal McFrugalton. So, yeah, probably. When we come back,